It was the year 2004, and in a small, quaint town, class of 30 students mysteriously vanished without a trace. No one knew where they had gone, and the town was left scratching their heads. But here's the thing, no one ever really talked about it. They just swept it under the rug, as if a bunch of kids disappearing was just part of the neighborhood's charm. If you're thinking this sounds like the plot of some cheesy horror movie, you're not wrong. But buckle up, history lovers. This story has more twists than a spaghetti noodle. Fast forward 20 years, and life in the town had mostly returned to normal. Until one day, a group of students, now adults, decided to get together for a reunion. But instead of a simple trip down memory lane, this group was determined to finally solve the mystery that had lingered over the town like an old, unsolved math problem. With flashlights, notebooks, and the uncanny ability to drink far too much coffee, they were ready to uncover the truth. The reunion didn't go exactly as planned. The adults gathered in the same old school, a place that hadn't changed a bit except for the fact that it was a little creepier now. As they wandered the halls, they discovered something bizarre. The school's yearbook from 2004, missing. The principal's office, completely untouched. And most shockingly of all, the class photos, absolutely gone. Like they'd been erased from existence. Talk about a bad yearbook photographer. Then, as they were digging through old paperwork in the school's dusty archives, they found a single out-of-place envelope marked, "Do not open until 2024. Yes, 2024, because that's not ominous at all. Naturally, they opened it. Inside was a letter written by their missing classmates, dated the day they vanished. The letter said, "We've gone to a place beyond time and space. But don't worry, we'll be back soon. Just ... Don't eat the cafeteria food. It's not from this dimension." Well, that didn't answer much, but at least they had a heads up. About the food. As they continued their investigation, one former classmate, let's call him Jeff, pointed out something peculiar. Guys, think about it. We haven't aged a day. Everyone stopped in their tracks. Jeff was right. Not a wrinkle. Not a gray hair, nothing. They were all exactly the same as they were in 2004. For a moment, they considered calling a dermatologist. But then, the real shocker hit them. What if they'd been transported? Suddenly, the ground shook. It wasn't an earthquake, though. The school was rumbling like a haunted house ride at a theme park. The walls creaked and the floorboards groaned as if the entire school had decided it was time for a midlife crisis. Out of nowhere, a trapdoor in the middle of the school cafeteria swung open. The adults stood there in shock, staring at each other with wide eyes. Well, one said, "I guess this is where the cafeteria food comes from." Taking a deep breath, they descended into the mysterious trapdoor. What they found below was nothing short of a historical plot twist. A massive underground bunker, filled with ... time machines. And not just any time machines. These had been constructed by none other than their missing classmates. The time travelers had been zipping through different eras, witnessing history firsthand. Talk about a class field trip gone way too far. At this point, their heads were spinning faster than a hamster on a wheel. As they explored further, they realized the truth. Their classmates hadn't just vanished, they'd been involved in a top-secret government experiment. The kids had been part of a project designed to transport them to alternate timelines. In one, they had even helped Cleopatra build the pyramids. Another timeline had them hanging out with Shakespeare, debating the best way to deliver to be. Or not to be. Spoiler alert, they didn't get it right. Just when they thought they had it all figured out, the biggest twist yet happened. One of the missing students, now in her 30s, appeared out of nowhere. She looked exactly the same as she did in 2004, except she was holding a coffee cup. "So, you found the time machine?" she said nonchalantly. "Took you guys long enough." Turns out they'd been living in a kind of temporal loop for the past 20 years. They never aged because they weren't really living in the present. They had been existing in a suspended time bubble. In the final moments as they tried to wrap their heads around everything, their friend dropped one more bombshell. Oh, and by the way, we were all part of the plan. The real experiment was to see if history could be changed by a group of kids. Spoiler, we may have accidentally triggered the invention of Wi-Fi. You're welcome. With that, the group walked out of the bunker, leaving behind a school that would never be the same. Their lives, however, were about to change because some things, once discovered, can never be forgotten.